If you're feeling overwhelmed, overworked, or burnt out, this episode is for you. Welcome back to another episode of Uncorked, where we talk about the highs and lows of running a business, where we talk about building personal brands, and where we talk about working with each other without killing each other. In today's episode, I have a special guest. We're all going to be talking about just the idea of work-life balance. So with that being said, why I'm wearing these glasses, for anyone that follows me, you guys know Mr. Social Eats, you know the kind of guy. When I put these glasses on, I am the kind of boy. So today, this is my new persona. But with that being said, I want to introduce Mr. Fahim Khan. Tell him who you are, what you do.
Hello. How's it going, guys? Fahim Khan here, content creator, videographer, photographer, business owner, hopefully tycoon, multimillionaire. A lot of the stuff has not happened yet, but it's getting there.
Work in progress.
Work in progress. We envision for the future.
Managing my time to get there.
Oh, yes. So, aside from making milkshakes, how do you, to de-stress, how do you balance work and your personal life?
It's a little hard. I'm not gonna lie. It's not the easiest thing to do, but I think the few things would be, first of all, I use a calendar, which is super helpful. I know there's a lot of apps and software out there, and people, I think, spend too much time finding out, what's the best thing, all these ads, manage this and that. I just use good old iPhone, use your calendar, set time. Other than that, if you have a business like I do, I have employees, like I arrange them a certain time. That way I can get some time off. So you got to really find the small things you could do to get those times off and, do your own things or just relax or unwind.
Yeah.
The art of delegation is what it is. So, and
fancy
this,
words.
It's a hard
and
skill.
This, the art of delegation, and this is what is the hardest thing as a solopreneur, as someone who's building a brand by themselves or a business. The hardest thing to do, I think, and we've learned this over time, is learn how to let go of stuff. And that's what the art of delegation is. Trust your employees, trust your team to do things that you need done, because either you don't have enough time or either you're just not good enough to do that because or it drains you. I think that's a big thing that we forget about.
I think you also have to accept, your team may not do everything exactly the way you want it, but it's going to get done. And you just kind of have to let go a little and trust that, you've trained them enough that they can run with it. And now you have time for yourself, for future planning, for whatever it is, because you will burn out if you try to do it all. And then you're just going to start doing a really bad job of it.
100%. Actually, I was going to say the delegation part. If you feel like you can't delegate, it's probably because you haven't trained them well, or you haven't done something right. Because if you do it right, you can let go.
Yeah. And I think it's setting those personal boundaries. Sorry, I can't take you seriously. These glasses. Are you wearing them for the whole pod?
Yeah, I'm wearing them for the whole
I just
pod.
needed to know.
Work-life balance. I'm having some fun right now.
Okay.
This is the balance. Of my work.
This is the balance.
So,
but no, I think boundaries are important. I think especially when you work with a team that you consider friends, or when you work with your significant other, when is it work, when is it play? I think it's a really intentional decision to kind of divide the two. Otherwise, you're just going to feel like you're in this nonstop rat race.
the last one I want to add here is self-care.
Yeah.
I think taking care of your mental health, physical, spiritual, just understanding that, hey, you need time to take care of yourself. So whether that's going to the gym, whether that's meditation, whether that's spas, whether that's watching a movie, take the time to rest and relax, because it's super difficult to continue doing stuff. I see people, even like Gary Vee always talks about just work your butt off, grind it away. And I just don't believe in that. As much as I love Gary Vee, I don't believe in that. And I think that's because there needs to be a balance. You need to, just working all the time, you're going to burn out.
Well, I think it's the law of diminishing returns, right? You're going to hit a point where all that time you're putting in, you're not getting the results anymore because you're just burnt out and you're not in it. So you're better off stopping, taking time for yourself, and starting again later. And I think that's a big thing to remember. So kind of in that note, time management. I know you guys both are good at it. You have busy lives. I want to hear your best tips, each of you.
All right,
for
Fahim,
time.
go first.
Me first?
Okay.
I think my main thing would be use a calendar.
No, we beat him in his Google
use
Calendar comment.
Put things down, write it down. You might think you're a genius, you remember everything in your mind, When you're busy, you will forget, trust me, and it's going to go all over the place.
I'm going to say audit your time. So I'm huge
That's a
on
good one.
efficiencies. That's what I do. That's my thing for everyone watching and who knows me. Audit your time. I pride myself in working like 12, 16-hour days. And then I always tell people, yeah, I work 12, 16-hour days. And then I'm auditing my time. And I'm like, wait, 4 of those hours, I am sitting watching videos on my phone. 2 of those hours, I'm watching Netflix. 1 hour throughout the day, I'm probably sitting on the toilet scrolling through my phone. So auditing your time
home
and
office.
realizing we have my home my home office is where. So why I say this is auditing your time. Hey, like you can. We always talk about optimizations. Optimize your time. So you don't need to work 16-hour work days. You could work 8 hours and be super effective in those 8 hours and get more work done than working double that time because of how much you optimize it. So a platform that I use is Toggle. I toggle a bunch of stuff, and it's basically a time tracker, and it keeps you on track for basically any type of task that you're doing.
Yeah. I think one thing, and I feel like we should talk about it because it happens all the time, is how we handle like interruptions to a planned day.
Yeah.
Because I feel like everything we do, there's like some emergency every day.
Yeah.
And it throws your whole schedule out the window at times. So I feel like, and I'm sure you guys, like Fahim, you experience this as a business owner.
As a restaurant
Kiefer,
owner.
as a team like lead, you experience this. My job is just chaos from morning, noon, and night. So I feel like we expect it all day long. And for me, I think it links back to like ruthless prioritization. But I'm really curious to hear like how you guys manage that.
Yeah, I was going to actually go on the prioritization part.
Yeah.
Like, it really depends. I think we learned this in university and school stuff. Like, hey, make sure what's important, do that first. You know, what could be held back, do that later. I think it also falls on delegation. If you have team members, you know, what can you delegate quick enough? Let them handle something, or let them start it while you can do your other thing and get back to this after. So I think few things come into play. It's a matter of where you are, what you do. But I think the main thing, like Ange said, is definitely, you know, what takes priority first.
Yeah.
So with that being said, what advice would you give to someone who's struggling with work-life balance? Like, hey, if you had to give them some takeaways, hey, try this to get better at what you're doing, what would that be?
Yeah. For me, I think I really liked what you said about like auditing how you're spending your time, because I think we live in a world where like it's just always go, go, go. And I think if you actually like step back and look at what you're doing all day, you're going to find that not everything you did that day needed to happen. And you're probably going to find time that now you can build out to kind of balance out working all day. And I think that's a big piece for me.
Yeah, I think that's perfectly said. I think the only thing I would say is maybe start with one thing, like one small item in a day, what you think, or just 1 hour somewhere, figure that out. And don't try to organize every single thing. That's never going to happen, because you'll lose track, you'll forget everything, or you just don't know what's happening. So do one thing first, and once you perfected that, maybe move to the next, and you'll realize the process behind it, and then you'll know how to do it.
Yeah. To give you guys even an idea, Ange and I had set 10 goals out for the year, and we're like, hey, listen, like, let's just do these 10 goals, and we'll focus on these 10 goals. But how we break those out into like key actions is we have a year goal. We break it down to a month. We also break it down to weeks. Like this week, I'm going to do this, 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 this. For myself, I go 10 tasks a day. That's my goal. And think about this. I'm accomplishing 10 tasks a day. At the end of 1 month, I just did 300 tasks. Think about the efficiency on that. So I think you guys talked about prioritizing your tasks. We talked about setting boundaries. We talked about taking breaks and just practicing self-care. There's so many different things. I think where I want to end this is just understanding that we're all human. Understanding that there are things that are going to happen where, hey, you know what, things are going to happen where it's out of our control. We don't know what to do. And as much, and someone like myself, sometimes I do get anxiety on the fact that like I have this planned out and now something else came in. What do I do? Understand we're human, take a step, understand.
Literally don't ask this guy to do something that's not on his task list. The world will end. The world will end. Right. Oh, I see the glasses came off.
That is true, but this is a work in progress, right?
Yeah. But I think one thing, and we talk about this a lot, is like the non-negotiables. So like there are certain things that you just have to say like, no, we're doing this. And we're making time for it. Even if we're not done work, even if we're not this, like for us, it's like going to the gym. Making dinner, whatever it is, like there's certain times when it's like that is happening regardless. So it makes you like more mindful of what you're doing in a day.
I was actually going to say this. I think Kiefer told me long ago, like, work is work. Everything is great. You want to make money and stuff. But at the end of the day, what's your time worth at the end, right? Like, I'm owning business. I'm doing a bunch of things. It's great. But when I get home, I'm just I just want to sleep because I'm worrying about tomorrow. So in the end of the day, it's like those 3 hours that I could have been doing something else, relaxing, is that worth more than me grinding all the time? So I think that was a key thing you said a long time ago to me, and I think
like,
it stuck
take
with me.
a step back too. Like, is it gonna matter in an hour from now? Maybe. Is it gonna matter in a day from now? Maybe. But 2 weeks from now, a month from now, a year from now, when you're looking back and you're 60, like, you're not gonna remember that one bad day you had. And I think that's like a huge piece of it, is like, don't be so hard on yourself. Like, at the end of the day, we're not saving lives here. Like, do better tomorrow. You know?
Do better tomorrow. And I think that's where we're going to end this one, because I think we gave a bunch of different gems here. I think there's so many actionable items. Fahim, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
joining this episode. You'll definitely see more of the kind of guy and the kind of boy.
Bring
but in the
milkshakes next
meantime, stay tuned. Next episode, season finale coming soon, Uncorked.
Like the
Cheers.
episode, if you want Kiefer's glasses to come back.
Yeah, leave a comment. If you
Please
want these
don't.
glasses, I will wear in the next episode. But besides that, thank you guys
Cheers,
very
guys.
much. Cheers.